Hi, my friends. This is day 18 of the Carnivore Challenge, the 30-day Carnivore Challenge. And again, today was another challenge for me that was not that bad. I got the opportunity to go to the Zurich Classic with my wife today. So I woke up this morning and had my black coffee, had an event at school for about half the day, and then from there picked up my wife and we went to the Zurich Classic. And we had, thanks to my neighbor, we had these great VIP tickets where you got into multiple tents with multiple food items as well as multiple bars. And so, how did I tackle that today? Because this is going to be something that if you're trying the carnivore way of eating, or if you're even trying keto, this is something that you're going to have to learn to adapt to. So today was a good lesson, and what did I learn? Totally doable. So the first tent that we went to, we got to see people like John Rahm and Bubba Watson and Heinrich Stenson and Cameron Champ and Billy Horschel, like a lot of great names, a lot of big names, Tony Finau, and it's just a wonderful event. It also gets you outside, it gets you walking, so some great exercise as well. So the first tent was basically hamburgers and hot dogs and open bar. So I kind of had to decide early on whether I was going to partake in alcohol or not. And I've watched Maria Emmerich's talk on oxidative priority, and she talks about like the first thing that gets burnt off is alcohol. So alcohol can be, well, is carb free depending on like if you just drink straight whiskey or vodka or whatever. There aren't any carbs in it, but according to oxidative priority, before you can burn carbs, before you burn protein, before you burn the fat that you eat, and then obviously before you burn the fat that is around your waistline, which is what you're trying to get rid of, or at least that's what most of us are trying to do. You've got to burn off that alcohol. So it's really a choice to make of whether you want to kind of disrupt that priority or if you want to put alcohol at the top of that priority. So I was like, well, I'm going to hold off as long as possible. So to me, it's about trade offs. So at the beginning of this, I said that I was going to stay away from artificial sweeteners, and I think I've done as good as I think I can do from there. But I've also realized that the artificial sweeteners aren't really boosting my blood sugar. Today was kind of another example of that. And since I wasn't going to have alcohol, maybe I could try like a sparkling water. So I tried some artificially flavored sparkling water. That was a nice, to me, substitute. So the first thing I ate, hamburger. That was pretty easy. Get rid of the bun, eat the burger. Okay, round one, pretty successful. Then we walked to another tent, which was kind of more of the same, and I was still hungry because, again, I'm used to eating a good quantity of meat. So one hamburger patty is not going to cut it for me. So we went to the next one. They had hot dogs. Same thing. Get rid of the bun, eat the hot dog. Pretty simple. Went to the next tent, and I'm looking at my pictures, and that's where the temptation started coming in. So they had crawfish beignets, which are basically like puff pastries. If you've never had a beignet, and inside of it is crawfish. So I could kind of eat the crawfish inside of it, but I didn't really feel like going through the effort, so I kind of just did without. Same thing with like these things of like crab meat bags or whatever, which are basically like just carbs surrounding some crab meat and some stuffing, which I knew had carbs in it, so I refrained from that as well. And then, but what they did have was char-grilled oysters from Drago's, which are pretty heavenly. And generally speaking, I'm not a big oyster guy, but char-grilled oysters are just oysters with garlic, butter, and some Parmesan cheese sprinkled on top. So completely keto, and just a hair of dairy, which I've been trying to avoid, but again, nominal at best. And those were delicious. And the great thing is that I got an order And then my wife doesn't like them, so she got an order, and I could eat hers as well. We had these little wristbands where you get like one of everything, so that was a good trade-off. Sorry, dropped my phone. So those char-grilled oysters came with bread. Don't eat the bread. There you go. Then there was a couchon de lait po' boy, which is basically like a fancy ham sandwich with some other meats on it as well. And again, all of these are kind of like tapas size. You'll see in the pictures they're not enormous. It's not like it's probably like 3 or 4 inches. So again, all I did was gut it and eat the meat out of it. Throw away the French bread, and it came with potato chips. Just don't eat the chips, and you're good to go from there. Then the next thing was almost purely carnivore. It was shrimp remoulade with a deviled egg. Deviled egg, yeah. Shrimp, yeah. Maybe something in the remoulade sauce that was over the top of it, but again, I think you're looking for big pictures here. It was delicious. It's basically carnivore. I'm not going to split hairs about whether there was a couple of carbs in the sauce or not. This is about again, sustainability. So that was definitely a hit. There was another type of charcuterie po' boy, which is just a bunch of different meats on a po' boy. Again, not that big, so I just gutted it, ate that, and so that was some decent amount of meat that I'm getting in at the moment. So putting all those together, yeah, it was decent. But just in case, because I didn't know what I was going to be able to eat, I brought in some beef jerky as well, just to plan ahead. And so I didn't drink at all, drink alcohol that day, but I did have like my Diet Coke and my Coke Zero. And again, for me, I think that's a really fair trade-off because we were there from 11 till almost 5 o'clock. And so again, good trade-off for me. So I came home still a little hungry. Maybe it was the Coke Zero that was kind of spiking that, but I still didn't eat a ton of meat that I'm used to. It's certainly not those big portions of like the eggs and that concoction that I'm normally eating. So I ate some of the beef jerky when I got home because I was like, okay, I need to figure out what I'm going to do for dinner. Still need to figure out what I'm going to do for dinner tonight. And right as I was about to eat that, I was like, oh, I haven't taken my measurements, my glucose measurements. So let me go ahead and do that. So even drinking all of those diet drinks and the flavored water, my glucose measured in at 82 today. And so if there's one trend that I'm definitely seeing is that my glucose, my blood sugar is trending downward. So at the end of this, at my 30 days, we're going to show my graph to see, where was my averages and all this, and I'm kind of geeked out about that. But one thing I definitely have noticed is that my glucose, even with drinking some of those diet drinks on occasion, hasn't really done a big deal to my blood sugar, which is good. So 82, I'll take it. And then my ketones were at 0.6. So again, I'm in what they would consider a mild case of ketosis, whatever that means, because again, depending upon who you ask, either you're in ketosis or you're not. Some people believe there isn't like a high, medium, or low, even though there seems to be scales that you can find on the internet. But for today, I consider today a big win. And so I'm going to make that win into my what's my why. So my why is because of today's like today, which are completely doable. So I didn't have to be miserable. I got to eat basically everything that was offered at that event. I just had to be a little bit more careful and kind of just pick and choose things from the plate, and that sustained me well. So tonight I am going to start preparing some baby back ribs. So I know I'm going to eat that tomorrow. My wife and I are childless this evening. Our daughter's at a sleepover, so we might go out to dinner tonight. And if I do that, I'll post those pictures tomorrow. Or we might just order something in which case I'll order a steak or some chicken, or maybe we'll cook. Not even quite sure at the moment. So closing in on day 20 already, and I gotta tell you, getting a little excited about day 30 coming. Not anxious, not like I can't wait to get this over with. I'm just excited about seeing the results at the end. We're excited about like taking my measurements again. Excited about the weigh-in, although I am cautiously optimistic. Like I know I'm losing weight. I can just feel it. Like the shorts I have on right now are definitely baggier than normal, and they've been getting. These are double X. This shirt is a double X as well. Again, if you want to know, I'm basically 5'9.5". I am never going to be skinny. I am fairly big boned, I guess, is a nice way of putting it. But and so I'm never going to be waifish. But like that's a big deal to me when I'm putting on clothes now. And I'm like, wow, I'm on the last loop of my belt. That excites me, and my shorts are definitely need to be drawstrings. So I'm tightening them up as much as I can. I am looking at. I'm putting on pants that I haven't worn since pre-COVID, so over a year ago. And so, regardless of whether I've lost a chunk of weight, and you know, you're constantly playing those mind games. I know you're doing this as well, but like I'm playing these mind games of like, what is the number I'm going to be happy with when I step on the scale? And I'm really trying not to have those thoughts because I should be thinking, how good do you feel? How good has this experience been to you? How are you cognitively? How are your clothes fitting? How's your body composition? I can definitely see some more. Usually, it's like the definition of my jaw, like that's occurring more, and these are all good things. My skin, stuff like that. So non-scale victories, and only 18 days in, so a little over 2 weeks in, and so I need to kind of slow my roll and make sure that I look at the big picture. So anyway, that is all for today. Now tomorrow is Sunday. I actually have a pass to go to the Zurich Classic. Just got to be depending on number one, if I can find somebody to go with me, or if I just feel like going out there, or I might just like want to bum out at home because it's been in a busy week. So I'll decide that tomorrow. It's going to be a win-win regardless. So anyway, that being said, bye my friends. Peace out.